Daisy Matthews arrives at Meridian Enterprises on a Monday morning, coffee in hand, ready to start another week as a marketing executive. Her cubicle is filled with small touches of personality. A framed photo of her husband Jonathan, a potted succulent she somehow kept alive for 3 years, and sticky notes with motivational quotes. Everything seems normal, with the usual office chatter and the familiar sound of keyboards clicking away. Her day brightens when she receives an email announcing her long-awaited promotion. After 3 years of working overtime and pouring her heart into projects, senior management has finally noticed her dedication. The email includes an invitation to the annual corporate gala, a prestigious event where she'll be formally introduced to the company's upper echelon. This could be her chance to finally establish herself among the decision-makers. That evening, Daisy excitedly shares the news with Jonathan, who matches her enthusiasm with a warm embrace. But when she mentions the gala date, his expression shifts. "That's the week of my Seattle presentation," he says apologetically. "I've been preparing for months. It's the Johnson account." In 6 years of marriage, Jonathan has never missed any of her important moments, but this conflict seems unavoidable. The next day at work, Daisy notices Mia Collins, the head of client relations, watching her from across the break room. Mia, always impeccably dressed and surrounded by her circle of office allies, has never hidden her disdain for Daisy's modest wardrobe and quiet demeanor. When Daisy mentions her promotion, Mia's congratulations come with a razor-sharp edge. "How nice for you," Mia says with a practiced smile. "Will your husband be joining us at the gala? Oh wait, I forget. Some of us have been wondering if he actually exists, since none of us have ever met him." She laughs as if it's just innocent teasing, but the implication is clear. In a company where networking and connections matter, Daisy's constantly absent spouse has become a strange point of contention. Walking back to her desk, Daisy notices how conversations pause when she passes. The first red flag that her promotion might come with unexpected challenges becomes apparent as Mia's whispers follow her down the hallway. The week before the gala, Daisy finds herself assigned to work with Mia on a last-minute presentation for a potential client. What should be a collaborative effort quickly becomes an exercise in frustration as Mia dismisses every idea Daisy proposes. "Perhaps stick to what you know," Mia suggests during their third planning meeting, her voice dripping with condescension. "Let me handle the creative direction. After all, I've been doing this much longer than you." When Daisy stands her ground, citing her recent market research that contradicts Mia's outdated approach, Mia smiles coldly. How adorable. The new girl thinks she knows better. The meeting room falls silent as colleagues avert their eyes, unwilling to get involved. Later that afternoon, Daisy discovers that Mia has rescheduled the presentation to overlap with the pre-gala team lunch, an important networking opportunity Daisy had been counting on. When confronted, Mia appears genuinely surprised. "Oh, was that the same day? I completely forgot. But surely you understand that clients come first. Unless, of course, you're not as committed to the company as your promotion would suggest." Daisy approaches her direct supervisor, hoping for support, but receives only a helpless shrug. "Mia's been here for 10 years, Daisy. She handles our biggest accounts. Try to make it work. It's just one lunch." That evening, during her video call with Jonathan, Daisy fights back tears as she recounts the day's events. "Maybe I'm not cut out for this level," she admits. "Maybe I should have stayed where I was." Jonathan's face fills with concern. "Don't let her in your head, Daisy. You earned this promotion. People like Mia feel threatened when others succeed." He pauses, then adds, "I wish I could be there with you. I hate that you're facing this alone." "It's fine," Daisy lies, forcing a smile. "It's just office politics. I'll handle it." But as they end their call, the knot in her stomach tightens. The gala is approaching, and she'll have to face not only Mia, but the entire executive team alone. The whispers about her absent husband will only grow louder, and without Jonathan by her side, her confidence is already crumbling. 3 days before the gala, Daisy arrives at work to find a company-wide email from Mia announcing a special seating arrangement for the event. To foster team building, the email explains, "We'll be grouping attendees by department and tenure. Solo attendees will be seated at the networking table to encourage mingling." Daisy immediately recognizes this for what it is, a thinly veiled attempt to isolate her during the event. The networking table is code for those who couldn't secure +1s, traditionally placed in the back corner, far from the executive tables and speaking platform. When Daisy forwards the email to her supervisor, questioning the sudden change in protocol, the response is frustratingly passive. Mia cleared it with HR. It's actually not a bad idea for integration. By lunchtime, the gossip has already spread. In the bathroom, Daisy overhears 2 women from accounting discussing the seating chart. Mia's making sure the new girl knows her place, one says with a laugh. "Did you hear? Apparently, her husband's busy again. If you ask me, he's either made up or about to divorce her." Daisy exits the stall to uncomfortable silence, holding her head high as she washes her hands and leaves without a word. But inside, the humiliation burns hot. That afternoon, Noah from graphic design stops by her desk. "Hey, I saw the seating chart email. For what it's worth, I think it's ridiculous." His kind words are the first sign of alliance Daisy has experienced since the conflict began. "Thanks, but I'm fine," she replies, not entirely convincingly. Noah hesitates, then lowers his voice. "Look, Mia did the same thing to me last year when I was new. She likes to establish hierarchy. But I've seen your work. You deserve that promotion." He slides a folder onto her desk. "These are the preliminary designs for the Johnson account. Mia hasn't seen them yet, but they align perfectly with your market research, not her approach." This small act of solidarity strengthens Daisy's resolve, but the relief is short-lived. By end of day, Mia calls an emergency department meeting to announce that the Johnson presentation has been moved forward to the morning of the gala. Looking directly at Daisy, she adds, "We'll need all hands on deck, with perfect preparation. No excuses." That night, Daisy finds herself staring at her planned gala outfit. A navy blue dress purchased on clearance 3 years ago, the nicest thing she owns. Jonathan's voice comes through the phone, concerned at her silence. "She's deliberately sabotaging me," Daisy finally admits. "The presentation will leave me no time to properly prepare for the gala. And now she's seated me at the singles table. Is there anyone there you can trust?" Jonathan asks. "Maybe no," she says, "but he doesn't have much influence." "Sometimes one ally is all you need," Jonathan replies, his voice strangely determined. "Listen, I have to go into another meeting, but trust me on this, Daisy. It's going to work out." After they hang up, Daisy notices missed calls from her friend Sophia. When she calls back, Sophia's voice is breathless with gossip. "Have you seen what Mia posted on the company's social group?" she asks. Daisy hadn't. Opening the page, her stomach drops. There's a post about gala preparations with a snide reminder about dress code standards, accompanied by a photo from last year's holiday party, where Daisy's outfit choice had been noticeably less sophisticated than her colleagues. The comments section is already filling with barely concealed mockery. The morning of the gala arrives with relentless pressure. Daisy wakes before her alarm, anxiety already churning in her stomach. Jonathan's side of the bed is empty. He left for Seattle 2 days ago, with promises to call before the event. The Johnson presentation looms first. Arriving at the office early, Daisy finds Mia has changed the meeting room without notification. She discovers this only after waiting alone in the originally scheduled conference room for 15 minutes, appearing unprepared when she finally locates the correct venue. "So glad you could join us," Mia announces as Daisy slips into the room of waiting executives, including 2 senior directors who rarely attend preliminary presentations. "We were just discussing whether to proceed without you." The presentation itself becomes an exercise in professional torture. Every time Daisy begins explaining a concept, Mia interrupts with clarifications that undermine her authority. When the market research data supports Daisy's strategy, Mia dismisses it as preliminary and likely to change. By the time the meeting concludes, Daisy's contribution has been systematically minimized, her promotion implicitly questioned. As the executives file out, the marketing director pauses beside her. "I expected more from you today, Daisy," he says quietly. Mia had to carry that presentation. The words land like physical blows. With only 2 hours before the gala, Daisy retreats to the bathroom, locking herself in a stall as tears threaten to spill. Her phone buzzes with a text from Jonathan. "Good luck today. Remember who you are." The simple message only makes the achy worse. He should be here, standing beside her, validating her presence. A knock on the stall door startles her. "Daisy, it's Noah. Are you okay?" Opening the door, she finds him holding a USB drive. "Mia asked me to finalize the presentation slides for distribution," he explains. "But I saw what happened in there, so I made 2 versions. Her revised version that undermines your work, and this one that clearly shows your research was the foundation of the entire strategy. I'm sending both to the director with a note about the data accuracy." This small act of rebellion gives Daisy enough strength to get through the next hour. But as she changes into her gala dress in the office bathroom, doubt creeps back in. The dress she once thought elegant now feels obviously dated. Her carefully applied makeup can't hide the strain of the past weeks. When her phone rings, Jonathan's face appears on the screen. "How did it go?" he asks. "Horrible," she admits, voice cracking. "Mia completely undermined me in front of everyone. I don't know if I can face these people tonight." "Listen to me," Jonathan says firmly. "You've worked too hard to give up now. This gala isn't about Mia. It's about you and your accomplishment." "It's different for you," Daisy replies, frustration finally boiling over. "You don't understand what it's like to be constantly judged, to have people whispering about why your spouse is never around. Everyone thinks you're made up, Jonathan. Do you know how humiliating that is?" The line goes silent for a moment. When Jonathan speaks again, his voice is resolute. "You're right. I don't understand completely. But I do know you're stronger than you realize." "I don't feel strong," she whispers. "I feel like I'm drowning." "Then do one thing for me," he says. "Go to that gala. Hold your head high. And remember that not everything is as it appears." As they end the call, Daisy stares at her reflection, at the woman who looks far more fragile than she wants to be. She almost calls a cab home, almost gives up entirely. Instead, she straightens her shoulders, fastens the silver pendant Jonathan gave her for their anniversary around her neck, and makes a decision. She will not let Mia win. The Grand Plaza Hotel is intimidating in its opulence. Crystal chandeliers, marble floors, and staff in crisp uniforms guiding guests toward the ballroom. Daisy arrives alone, pausing at the entrance to gather her courage before stepping inside. The room is already filled with colleagues in elegant attire, clustered in comfortable groups. Her eyes immediately find Mia holding court near the bar, resplendent in a crimson dress that probably cost more than Daisy's monthly salary. When their gazes meet, Mia smiles with predatory satisfaction. Scanning the room, Daisy spots the networking table, isolated in the corner, already occupied by a few uncomfortable-looking individuals. Her assigned seat, as promised, is far from the action. But instead of heading there, Daisy makes an unexpected decision. She approaches the CEO's assistant, Regina, who's checking attendance at a small desk. "Excuse me," Daisy says politely. "I noticed there's been a seating change. Could you tell me if that came from HR or from Mia directly?" Regina glances around before lowering her voice. "Between us? Maya changed it yesterday. It wasn't approved through proper channels, but nobody wanted to challenge her." Daisy nods thoughtfully. "Could you do me a favor? Could you check if Jonathan Matthews is on the guest list? He should be my +1. Regina checks her tablet. No, there's no Jonathan Matthews listed. Mia specifically marked you as attending solo. Interesting, Daisy says, a plan forming. Because my husband confirmed he'd be joining me. There seems to be a pattern of administrative oversights lately. Regina's expression shifts with understanding. Let me fix that for you right away. And perhaps I can adjust your seating assignment as well. We usually place our newly promoted team members closer to the executive table. As Regina makes the changes, Noah appears with 2 champagne glasses, offering one to Daisy. Saw you standing alone. Thought you might need this. Thanks for earlier, Daisy says. For standing up for me. No shrugs. Mia's been untouchable for too long. Actually, there's something you should know. I wasn't going to say anything, but after today. He pulls out his phone, showing Daisy an email thread. She's been taking credit for your campaign concepts in reports to the executive team. I have access because I format the final presentations. Daisy's shock quickly turns to resolve. Do you have copies of my original work submissions? Better. I have the track changes showing how she modified your documents before passing them off as her own. This evidence is the first tangible proof of Mia's sabotage. Daisy's mind races with possibilities, but she's interrupted when the marketing director approaches, his expression now curious rather than disappointed. Daisy, I just received an interesting email from the design team about today's presentation. Care to explain the discrepancies in the strategy attribution? Taking a deep breath, Daisy seizes the moment. I'd be happy to clarify, sir. Perhaps we could discuss the full history of the Johnson account research. She gestures toward a quiet corner, away from Mia's watchful eyes. For the next 15 minutes, Daisy calmly presents her case, explaining the systematic undermining of her work without directly accusing Mia of malice. The director listens with increasing concern. This is troubling, he finally says. Especially considering your promotion was based largely on the success of concepts that, it now appears, were indeed yours originally. As they conclude their conversation, Daisy notices Mia approaching with determined steps, clearly alarmed by their extended discussion. But before she can intervene, the director raises his hand to stop her. Mia, I'll need to see you in my office first thing Monday morning, he says firmly. We have some attribution issues to discuss. For the first time, Daisy sees uncertainty flicker across Mia's perfect features. The power dynamic has shifted, ever so slightly. Word spreads quickly through the gala. Subtle glances and whispers follow both Daisy and Mia, but the tone has changed. The marketing director's public request for a Monday meeting has not gone unnoticed, nor has his sudden attentiveness to Daisy, introducing her to key executives with pointed mentions of her innovative campaign strategies. Mia, sensing the shift, attempts damage control. She approaches Daisy as she stands speaking with the company's CFO, inserting herself into the conversation with practiced charm. Daisy and I have been working so closely on the Johnson account, she interjects smoothly. It's been such a collaborative effort, hasn't it, Daisy? The challenge is clear. Contradict me now, in front of leadership, and risk appearing petty. But Daisy is prepared. Collaboration is important, she agrees pleasantly. Which is why documentation and proper attribution are so essential in our field. Don't you think? The CFO nods approvingly, while Mia's smile freezes. The conversation continues with Mia increasingly marginalized as Daisy confidently discusses her market research methodology, which the CFO finds particularly impressive. As Mia finally retreats, Noah appears at Daisy's side. That was masterful, he murmurs. But she's not done yet. She just cornered Regina at the check-in desk, demanding to know who authorized your seating change. Indeed, moments later, Mia approaches again, this time with the HR director beside her. There seems to be some confusion about the seating arrangements. She announces loudly enough for nearby guests to hear. Daisy, you were assigned to the networking table, not the executive section. The HR director looks uncomfortable. There was a last-minute adjustment. Based on incorrect information, Mia interrupts. Daisy confirmed she would be attending alone, yet now claims her husband will be joining her, though he's never attended a company function in all her years here. It's disruptive to keep changing arrangements. Several colleagues have paused their conversations to watch this confrontation unfold. The public challenge forces Daisy's hand. Back down now, and all her progress crumbles. I understand your concern for protocol, Mia, Daisy replies, her voice steady despite her racing heart. But I'm curious, did you receive proper authorization before changing the traditional seating chart to create a singles table? She turns to the HR director. Was that arrangement approved through the standard channels? The HR director hesitates. Actually, no. I only saw the final chart this morning. And was there a company directive to segregate employees attending without plus ones? Daisy continues. Because that seems potentially discriminatory. The HR director's expression turns alarmed. Definitely not. That would not align with our inclusion policies. Now other department heads have drifted closer, attention caught by the words, potentially discriminatory. Mia's face flushes as she realizes her tactical error. I think there's been a misunderstanding. Mia attempts, but the damage is done. The CEO, attracted by the unusual cluster of executives, joins the circle. What's this about seating changes? As the HR director explains the situation, Mia's carefully constructed authority visibly crumbles. The CEO frowns, then turns to Daisy. I apologize for any discomfort this caused. Our events are meant to celebrate our team, not create arbitrary divisions. Mia tries to interject, but the CEO continues. In fact, I'd like to take this opportunity to personally congratulate you on your promotion, Daisy. Your Johnson account strategy was presented in last week's executive summary. Highly innovative approach. Mia pales. Sir, that strategy was a collaborative. The summary specifically highlighted Daisy's market segmentation model. The CEO interrupts. Your name wasn't mentioned. As this revelation ripples through the gathered crowd, Daisy catches sight of Regina signaling frantically from the entrance. She's pointing at her tablet, then to the main doors, her expression urgent. The ballroom has become a stage for the unfolding drama. Executives and colleagues form a loose circle around Daisy, Mia, and the CEO, their attention split between the professional confrontation and the commotion at the entrance. Regina is now hurrying toward them, tablet in hand. Sir, she addresses the CEO, slightly breathless. There's a guest at the main entrance. Security needs confirmation to admit him, as he's not on the original list. She turns to Daisy. It's your husband. A ripple of murmurs spreads through the gathered crowd. Mia's expression shifts from embarrassment to vindication. Well, this should be interesting, she says, her voice carrying. After 6 years of convenient absences, the mysterious Jonathan finally materializes. Perfect timing. The CEO looks between the women, sensing deeper conflict. By all means, let the man in, he instructs Regina. I'm curious to meet the elusive Mr. Matthews. As Regina hurries away, Mia leans closer to Daisy. Is this part of your plan? Hire someone to play your husband for the night? How desperate. But Daisy isn't listening. Her heart pounds as she stares at the ballroom entrance. Jonathan had been adamant about his Seattle trip. There's no way he could be here unless. The grand doors open. The crowd naturally parts, creating a clear path through the center of the ballroom. Standing in the doorway, impeccably dressed in a tailored black suit, is Jonathan. In his hands is a bouquet of red and white roses. His eyes scan the room until they lock with Daisy's. Every conversation halts. Even the background music seems to fade as Jonathan walks confidently through the parted crowd, his focus unwavering. Daisy finds herself frozen, unable to comprehend his presence. "Sorry I'm late," he says when he reaches her, loud enough for those nearby to hear. Then softer, "Just for her. Did you really think I'd miss this?" "Your flight." "Seattle." Daisy manages, still stunned. "None of that matters," Jonathan replies simply. "You matter." He hands her the roses, then pulls her gently into his arms, kissing her right there in front of everyone. It isn't a show of possession or territory, it's a homecoming. When they separate, Daisy notices the room has erupted in whispers. Mia has gone completely silent, her earlier confidence shattered. The CEO extends his hand to Jonathan. "Jonathan Matthews, I presume. We've heard so much about you." "All good things, I hope," Jonathan replies with easy charm. "Though I understand there's been some confusion about my existence." The CEO laughs. "Well, that question has been definitively answered." He turns to include Daisy. "Your wife was just receiving some long overdue recognition for her work. We're quite fortunate to have her talents at Meridian." As the conversation continues, other executives gravitate toward Jonathan, curious about the man who's been the subject of so much speculation. His natural charisma and genuine interest in their questions quickly win them over. Mia stands on the periphery, her perfect composure finally cracking. When she attempts to insert herself into the circle, the reception is noticeably cool. Her previously loyal allies now maintain careful distance, recognizing the shift in corporate favor. The marketing director approaches Daisy with newfound respect. "I owe you an apology for this morning," he says quietly. "It appears I've been receiving filtered information for some time. Perhaps we should schedule a proper review of your contributions on Monday." Looking over his shoulder, Daisy sees Mia watching this exchange, her expression a mixture of fury and fear. For the first time in years, Mia Collins is witnessing her carefully constructed power structure crumble. And all because Daisy finally refused to be diminished. 3 weeks after the gala, Daisy sits in her new office. No longer a cubicle, but a proper space with a door and a window overlooking the city. The Johnson account launch has exceeded projections, with client feedback specifically praising the innovative market segmentation strategy that now officially bears her name. A knock at her door reveals Noah, now officially part of her team following the departmental restructuring. "Just got word from upstairs," he says, closing the door behind him. Mia's lateral move to the satellite office is confirmed. They're calling it a strategic reassignment, but everyone knows what it really is. Daisy nods, feeling complicated emotions about Mia's effective demotion. The aftermath of the gala had been swift and consequential. The evidence Noah provided of systematic credit theft had prompted a broader investigation, revealing a pattern of behavior that extended beyond just Daisy's work. "How does it feel?" Noah asks, gesturing around the office. "Being the new rising star." "Surreal," Daisy admits. "Keep expecting to wake up back at my old desk with Mia breathing down my neck." "Well, get used to it. The executive team can't stop talking about your presentation to the board yesterday." Marketing genius is the term being thrown around. After Noah leaves, Daisy finds herself reflecting on the journey of the past month. The Monday after the gala had been transformative. Walking into the office, she'd immediately noticed the changed atmosphere. Colleagues who had previously ignored her now offered warm greetings, while Mia's former allies scrambled to distance themselves from her downfall. The meeting with the marketing director had been the final turning point. With Jonathan's encouragement, Daisy had arrived prepared not with accusations, but with a comprehensive portfolio of her work, complete with dated submissions and development notes. The evidence spoke for itself. Her phone buzzes with a text from Jonathan. "Dinner tonight to celebrate the Johnson launch. That little Italian place you love." Smiling, Daisy types her reply. "Perfect. And thank you again for the gala night rescue." Jonathan's surprise appearance had become something of a legend around the office. What no one knew, except Daisy, was the truth he'd revealed in the taxi afterward. There had never been a Seattle trip. He'd been planning his surprise for weeks, working remotely while staying with a friend across town, determined to be there for her moment of recognition. A calendar notification pops up on her computer screen. Mentor Program, first session. Another change since the gala. Daisy has been asked to mentor junior team members, with a focus on helping them navigate office politics and gain proper recognition for their work. As she gathers her materials for the session, Regina appears at her door. "Package for you," she says, handing over a small gift bag. From HR, for the mentorship program. Inside, Daisy finds a beautiful leather portfolio and a handwritten note from the CEO. For recording brilliant ideas and ensuring they're properly attributed. Your voice matters here. The irony isn't lost on her. 6 weeks ago, she had stood in a bathroom stall fighting back tears, convinced her career was imploding. Now she's being positioned as a future leader. Her phone buzzes with another text, this time from Sophia. Heard Mia's replacement starts Monday. Rumor has it she specifically requested to work with you. The news brings a smile to Daisy's face. Not because of any lingering satisfaction over Mia's downfall, but because it represents the final page turning. The company culture is shifting, slowly but surely, toward one that values substance over style, contribution over connection. As she walks toward the conference room for her mentoring session, Daisy passes her old cubicle, now occupied by a nervous-looking new hire. She pauses, then changes direction. "Hi there," she says warmly, extending her hand. "I'm Daisy Matthews. If you ever need anything, my office is just down the hall. My door is always open." If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and become a part of our Everyday Life Stories community. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment below. We love hearing from our amazing viewers around the world.